Here is an EOAlive Grande story.
This next story is brought to you by True Value Hardware on Jefferson Street. We have some very exciting news for all of you. Blue Mountain Translator District has been hard at work for the past couple of years trying to jumpstart a local TV station for all of Eastern Oregon. Well, recently, BMTD did just that. Hooray! This new station will ensure more local coverage for Eastern Oregon, provide local entertainment, and much, much more. For a closer look, here's an interview with BMTD Executive Director Alex McHaddad with more information about the station.
So I manage the Blue Mountain Translator District. It's a local government agency that's operated the television towers in Northeast Oregon since the 70s. A couple years ago, we wanted to kind of change the way that we did things. So in 2019, we got a law passed that allowed us to start our own television station that could be broadcast over the air or streamed or delivered on cable, kind of whatever we wanted. We wanted that to be something that we used to raise revenue. What ended up happening this year is that we were planning on a very late start, something slow, just kind of figure it out. But then COVID-19 happened at the beginning of the year, several months before we were ready. We saw that there was a need to start broadcasting and streaming local government meetings for people in the area, especially in an area where people don't have broadband access a lot of the time. We wanted to make sure that local news and information that was really important for Union and Baker counties where we operate was available to as many people as possible. So that's kind of how the channel as it exists today started. We got a streaming version up and running in April, and then we've been using that to stream local government meetings for county commissioners, city councils, and Grande School District. The other thing we've been doing since then, we also broadcast local news that comes up. We put up press releases from local government agencies. But the big part that made this really special was that we've also been working with a company called Sinclair Broadcast Group. They're one of the largest television station owners in the country. And we approached them in spring about allowing us to use a sub-channel on one of theirs. So the Univision affiliate, it's a Spanish language network that serves the Portland area, actually has its tower, full power station of origin in Union County. So what we did was contact Sinclair, who owns the Univision affiliate, and said, hey, you have an extra sub-channel. Could we start using that for a while during COVID-19? We want to get local government meetings broadcast. We want to use it to deliver educational content, things like that. And they said yes. And this week, we finally got the over-the-air station up and running. So all the news that's great for Union County is you can see it on the air here on channel 16.4. And if you're in the Willamette Valley, you can also see it on an antenna on channel 47.4. Local government meetings are a big one. We also broadcast hearings at the state legislature, some programming from the White House whenever there's presidential press releases. We also broadcast a lot of educational content. Because this is a non-commercial operation, we have access to a really large library of content that can be used to educate the public. So throughout the day, you'll see channels about music education or educational programming geared toward kids. Public affairs content, things like that are made for non-commercial stations to deliver. The difference between non-commercial and commercial isn't that there aren't any videos or graphics that promote companies that contribute to the operation. Non-commercial just means that if somebody makes a donation to the station operations, then we can start airing videos that go, thank you to our sponsor, Joe's Coffee Shop or whatever it is. The videos that we air to recognize sponsors end up looking a little different than what a commercial station does. It's not going to be a commercial station, but that doesn't mean you can't. We won't be running promos for businesses that sponsor us, that kind of thing. And the ultimate goal of this was to help us raise revenue originally. Currently we're focusing a lot more on just content delivery for the area, but once I think probably in the next year we're going to focus more on getting sponsors up and running for that. It just kind of depends on the process we put in place. It's non-commercial, and as far as we know, it's always going to be non-commercial unless some federal laws change. There are a lot of stories to tell in Eastern Oregon, and there are a lot of content creators who are producing a lot of really great material. And we'd really like to see this channel be a place for people to tell stories and share content they've created. If anybody's got a video series or something they're only putting on YouTube or Facebook, they've got pictures that they're only sharing on social media, you can send them to us and we'll start broadcasting them. So that we can help Eastern Oregon tell its story to the wider world. Ultimately, the Translator District is supposed to be a distributor of content. we do very, very minimal content creation ourselves aside from local government meetings. We're never going to have a production studio, for example. That's not going to be a thing, but we are going to have a television station. So anybody who's making content at their own production studio or a place like that, if they want to, tell that story here, they can come to us and, we'll start putting it up just so that we can help Eastern Oregon out. The long-term goal, we had a strategic plan that we passed earlier this year, and we do want to use the funds that we raise from this enterprise to benefit content creators in the area. So if somebody's making a video series and we're making money broadcasting that video series, we want them to share in that. This is supposed to be a tool for us to reinvest in the community. We don't just want it all going to us, since we are not a creator, we are a distributor. So that is the goal long term as we start raising money with sponsor recognition videos and things like that we add to what we broadcast. We do want to share that with everybody who ends up giving us content. We're going to be a lot more focused on making sure that Eastern Oregon has an entry into the television market. The other thing we can do as a television station operator is that we can start going to other television stations around the area, in the Pacific Northwest, other places, and we go, hey, there's this great show that's produced here in Eastern Oregon. We think your audience will love it. And then we start building those bridges so that people can broadcast here and they can broadcast elsewhere. If they've got a show that's formatted for TV and we help them do that, we can start shopping around and going, hey, this is a great local show, station in Klamath Falls or Seattle or wherever, it's already formatted for TV, go for it. And that's kind of where we're hoping to go with that. There are some different rules. You can put anything on the internet, basically. But you can't just do that with television. There are some topics you're not allowed to discuss, especially during certain times of day. Like if you watch TV at night, network shows, people will use profanity. But if you aired somebody using a swear word at 10 a.m. when a kid might be watching, you're going to be fined tens of thousands of dollars. We're really open to kind of anything right now. We really want it to be content that is primarily just produced in Eastern Oregon. And we want it to be focused on topics that people in the area might really be interested in. Not saying if you have a video game show, don't send it to us. It's more like, we think that the content people are going to really want would be, focused on the outdoors or focused on things that they do at home or just general news and information for the area. Local sports is something that a lot of people will probably really be wanting to watch. I think that was one of the top interest pieces from our survey we did last year. People want to see locally generated content on TV in Northeast Oregon. So as a content creator, ultimately you gotta basically just call us up. We'll look at what you have. And if it looks like something that can be broadcast on television, it meets all the FCC's content standards. And we think there's an interest in the audience, we'll just start playing it. And that's kind of what we have right now. We do not currently have funding to pay content creators, and that's again down the line as we start investing in building sponsor relationships, then we would start paying people who give us content. But if you're just putting something on YouTube or if you're putting something on Facebook usually doesn't pay you to put your stuff up there. So if you're producing content, you're just putting it on the web, you're trying to build an audience, this is a great place for it to go. You'll be seen on the air in La Grande, in Baker City, and all over the Willamette Valley and southwestern Washington. I think what Sinclair Broadcast Group has said is that KUNP, I think it was about 1.5 million viewers in the Willamette Valley area that end up watching. And then locally, we have about 3,000 people, I think, who use antennas to watch TV. So that's kind of what you'd get, is that you'd have at least some pull in both of those market areas, Northeast Oregon and the Willamette Valley. And you'd have something else that a lot of other people who are just on YouTube or on Facebook don't have, is that you can say, this is on television. This is Northeast Oregon's television station. So if anybody in Northeast Oregon has an idea for how to make the community a better place with this television station, please reach out to us. We will work with you and we'll try and make things happen. This is your station, Northeast Oregon.